Hey, I'm Arjun, one of the founders at Tax, and in this video, we'll be looking at MTD. In particular, the quarterly updates, where you'll be updating HMRC with your gross self-employment income or your rental income if you're a landlord, and your expenses. Now, before we jump into the actual spreadsheets and how to file, I'm going to go through some of the basics around MTD. If you'd like to skip ahead to the spreadsheets, feel free to, so then you can see exactly how that works. But in terms of MTD, just a little bit around what you actually need to do. First thing, as mentioned, is submitting those quarterly updates. Now, these updates are not a full tax return. You don't need to pay any tax. And actually in year one, there's no penalties for late submission, of the quarterly updates. That would start from April 2027. So it's a bit of a soft landing for those of you mandated this year for MTD. Your quarterly updates will just include your total income and your expenses. If you earn over £90,000 in either your rental income or your self-employment, you then need to provide a full breakdown of your expenses. If you earn under 90k, then you just need your total expenses. So for many of you, it's just going to be total income and total expenses. Now, if you are a landlord, you will need to keep your mortgage interest separate because that's treated a little bit differently. And for those quarterly updates, you can either file using a spreadsheet, using Tax or other software, hopefully Tax, to bridge with HMRC, or you can use tracking software that also can file the updates. And we'll talk a little bit about both, but this video in particular is about spreadsheets, and then we'll go into tracking software in another video. The second part is all around keeping records, in particular, keeping a record in a digital format. So that could be a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is absolutely fine if that's where you do your tracking and your bookkeeping. If you prefer to use tracking software, again, that's fine. If you're using a spreadsheet, you've got a system that works, and keep your spreadsheet, and you can use bridging software to file. What HMRC are looking for though, is that link between where you're doing your record keeping and what they've got in terms of your rental income or your self-employment income on your tax return. There must be a link, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And they want to see if you do have an inquiry, can you show us a record in a digital format? The final part, which everyone tax clients are already doing, is finalizing your final end of year submission, your self-assessment, by the 31st of January. And you must use third-party software for that. But you're already using Tax, so you've already got that part ticked. Perfect. So that's some of the basics around MTD. Final bit is just around thresholds. First threshold, so anyone kicking off this year, mandated April 2026, has gross rental and gross self-employment income combined of over 50k. From next year, April 27, it drops to 30k. And then from the year after that, April 28, drops down to 20k. Perfect. So that's some of the theory. Now let's jump into the actual spreadsheet itself. So let's take a look at one of our templates here. Now this template is for a landlord with under 90k rental income. There will obviously be spreadsheets very similar to this if you have over 90k, which I can show you too, with the breakdown of expenses, but I'm going to focus on under 90k in this example. And obviously will also be very similar if you're self-employed. Now each of our spreadsheets have got instructions as well, but I won't go too much into the instructions. Again, I'll show you some of the instructions on the first page, but this is essentially going to go through what I'm talking about in the video. But all of our spreadsheets are designed that if you were to come back to the spreadsheet in 6 months and a year's time, you will know exactly what to do. You don't need to re-watch this video. Hopefully this also gives you a bit of background to some of the spreadsheet and the changes. Cool, so once you've got the spreadsheet open, the key thing to do is actually copy this, the template that you need, to your particular workbook or spreadsheet where you're tracking transactions. What we need to do there is we need to then connect up our rental income and our rental expenses with where you've got the details in terms of rental income and expenses. Now, one of the key things HMRC say is we actually can't type in, right, we've got £15,000 of rental income. We can't type that in exactly. What HMRC are looking for is what they call a link between your spreadsheet, so the tracking that you're doing, and this summary spreadsheet. And that can just be using a formula. So you can see on the screen we've got an equals, and then I can point to a certain formula, a certain cell, for example, D10 or D11. Now, D101. And once I hit enter, you can see it now shows a 0, but really behind this is a formula that's connected our summary template to your transaction tracking, to your bookkeeping. system. We can do the same for the total expenses, and for landlords, we can do the same for the mortgage interest. Once we've connected those three things, then you know this summary sheet is going to be ready for you for each of the quarterly updates. Now, quick thing around the quarterly updates, they're cumulative. For the first one, let's say it's April, May, June, or starting on the 6th of April, ending on the 5th of July, if you prefer to go down that route. You've got 1 month to file it. Within that 1 month, you should have done your bookkeeping, got the spreadsheet ready, and then you'd be filing for that April, May, June period. If you need to change anything though, you don't need to make an amendment. All the updates are cumulative. So in Q2, you'll be filing with data from Q1 and Q2. So if you do need to make a change, just make the adjustment in Q2. Similarly in Q3, can make an adjustment. In Q4, can make an adjustment. It's all good to make adjustments. There's no issues with doing that. Perfect. So this is the spreadsheet if you've got a system in place. If you've got your template with multiple tabs, perhaps with each property, with your various self-employment income, then this summary sheet is for you. If, let's say, on the other hand, you are not too sure about where to track your transactions, and we've also got transaction tracking templates too. Now, this is where what we'll do is we'll be able to provide you with exactly a validated spreadsheet. So you just need to type in, or you can copy across from your bank statement, the details about each transaction. So let's say I've got a transaction on the 25th of February. It then will highlight this row to basically say that this row is incomplete. I need to go and check it, and I can put in text. I can add the description, so I can say this is my tax accounting MTD fee, and our fee for this is going to be £10 a month, including that end of year returns, and £120 for the full year. Or I think it's also £6 per month if you just want the quarterly updates. And then you can see it's still incomplete, but as soon as I hit professional fees, you can see it knows that this row is now complete. So that's perfect. We can then add all the transactions for our first quarterly period, April, May, June, and then submit this to HMRC. To actually show you what the submission looks like now, let's jump into taxed itself. So I'm going to log into my taxed account. I'm on my taxed dashboard. Everyone will have an MTD section on the left-hand side. Once you're here, right now this is just a bit of a demo, but you will be able to connect up your MTD account with HMRC to your taxed account. Once you've authorized that, we will be able to see your current and upcoming obligations. Now, these obligations are essentially saying, this is what you need to file and when you need to file it by. So you can see here, we've got tax freelance and we've got UK property. Let's select UK property. And then I can say I'm filing with my spreadsheet, upload my spreadsheet, and then if it's able to read this data, it will show you exactly what we've read. The rental income, if you've got a rent-a-room rental income as well, and all the expenses too. So once this data, if you're happy with it, you can just hit submit, and that's the quarterly update complete. All done, and then no more quarterly updates till the next quarter. Perfect. So that's what it looks like whether you've got your spreadsheet and using our summary template, or if you wanted to use our transaction tracking template too. Perfect. It's like a tongue twister, transaction tracking template. Anyway, let's move into the final part where I just want to show you Kept. So Kept is essentially a bookkeeping tool. We've got Taxed for the tax filing, Kept for the bookkeeping. Kept is our sister company that's able to connect to your bank account, automatically categorize transactions, and pre-populate your quarterly updates for submission. I won't go into too much kind of detail here. We'll save this for another video, but I just wanted to add it to the end of this. So you've got the spreadsheet options, but we've also got tracking software with Kept. Now, this is run by the same people, it's run by us, so you know that you're in good hands, whether you're using Tax as a bridging software or Kept as your tracking software. Thank you.